Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Vibes, Community, and Conversation. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. The Cool Guy, and I'm here with my co-host.
The Jazzy One.
The Jazzy One is what they call her. Today, we're going to talk about family dynamics and the importance of family. Today, we have a special guest with us. It is my sister, Agnes Montez Boykins-Harmon.
All right.
All the way from Chipley, Florida.
Chipley.
I'm so happy to have my sister here today. Took a little bit of work to get on camera today to talk a little bit, but I thought that she would be one of a great person to have a conversation with about family because, of course, she's my sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could talk about kind of how we grew up and some different things that's going on. She has a family of her own. Mm-hmm. She has grandkids.
Okay.
And so, hey. We're gonna just go ahead and jump right on in.
All right, let's go.
All right. So, I'm going to call you Agnes because that's what I call you, but others call her Montez. So, tell me, how important is family to you?
I was asked that question recently, as in what was the most important thing I wanted to give thanks for at that time. And of course, God comes first. Mm-hmm. But they said, aside from God, my word was family. I enjoy my family. I enjoy the memories with my family. And I enjoy hanging out with my family because we begin to tell stories that I have forgotten. And I think about the stuff we did and how close we were. And we laugh at each other. We pick at each other. And we still do it right now. We pick at each other. And Michael took my place because I was the knee baby until we got the baby boy to come along. Mm-hmm. So I became the middle child, the special place, the middle child.
The special child.
Yeah, special child too. But I love my family. And when I think about my family, I feel the love, I feel the support, and I am grateful to have a family that gets along. Mm-hmm. And we don't all agree all the time, but we don't attack each other. Mm-hmm. We kind of put it to the side and let's deal with what's real, and we show our love and we enjoy each other's company. So when I think about family, it's all those things. I'm grateful, and it's comical and it's funny because some crazy things used to happen. But we love each other and we show it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we don't attack each other. We can just hang together and eat. And mainly that's the main thing we do. We get together, we eat, and then we talk about each other. We pick at each other, but we do not do anything to harm each other. So it's special. And I'm not saying anyone else's family is not special, but I'm grateful for my family.
I'm proud to be a part of this family. This family has molded me into the person that I am today. And I feel I'm a pretty cool guy. And I really appreciate family. What about you, Jazz?
No, family is everything. I grew up in a single parent household. It was my mom and myself, and I have an older brother who passed away in 1999, but we were close together. And then my grandmother has always been a major part of my life, even to this day. And it's amazing to be able to have somebody that you can call on and count on, and they're going to come no matter what. Even if you done messed up, it's like, Grandma, I need you. And she going to be right there. She might pop me later, but she going to be right there to help me. And it's been the same, with cousins and things like that. As the years have gone by, we've lost a few people and things have changed a little bit, but that core is still there. We know we can lean and depend on each other when we need to, and we going to come ready to fight if necessary. It don't usually come to that, but, we willing to do what we need to do to help and support each other no matter what.
And so I was reading a statement, and it says, family dynamics refer to the patterns of interaction, relationships, and roles within a family unit. These dynamics are shaped by various factors, including culture, family history, and individual personalities, and they can significantly impact the well-being of family members. Healthy family dynamics foster strong emotional support and positive interactions, while unhealthy dynamics can lead to stress, conflict, and even dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know in families there is a little dysfunction
Right.
but what I've noticed with this family, when there are things going on,
Right.
we rally around each other to support each other. And these are the things, the reason for this conversation today is to expound on that a little bit and to get folk who have not experienced these things to kind of see what takes place. Because, we can't take it for granted that we come out of the house and we're one way, someone else is going to come out and be the same way because they're not coming out the same environment all the time.
Right.
And so I wanted this conversation to be one that maybe someone can listen to it and a young parent can start to formulate that foundation. So I just want to just talk a little bit about coming up and we was in church almost not 24/7, but we was in church like
Quite often.
22
Oh, Lord.
6.
Right.
And I remember being like, man, when I get older, I ain't going to church, boy, because, man, we always got to go to church. Fast forward to now, I just turned 59 years old. I'm a Leo.
Whoop, whoop.
That's right.
Let's go Scorpio.
No. We're not going to talk about that. They ain't got here yet. So, but I fast forward to now, and those were those seeds of greatness that were planted to where we now are starting to grow different ways, and we're able to be those examples for our kids, our grandkids, others, our peers, whoever it may be. And so I'm grateful for the way I was raised. I might not have agreed with it at the time, but as I would see it now, I'm grateful for that. So
I can remember some of the times, like we were kidding, and I tell my kids this. Even when you got that bicycle, it couldn't leave the driveway.
Nope.
We were not allowed to ride bikes in the middle of the road. We could not visit. You know how people let kids hang out at somebody else's house? No, we didn't get to hang out at other people's houses. They made sure everything we needed was right here in the house, in the core, right here.
Okay.
Now, other kids were welcome to come to our house. They would come for cookouts, barbecue. Daddy used to basically snatch them off the street. You hungry? And other people could come to us, but I felt like we were extremely sheltered. But I didn't know I was sheltered at the time because I was having a good time.
Okay.
Being a child in this family. And I was sort of a loner, and I was kind of a tomboy because I used to hang upside down in the trees in the backyard, and I used to make mud pies, but I'd be by myself. But when my alone time was done, I was with the family. We were all doing things. I can remember when it was bad weather, we had to sit quiet, had to turn off the TV, but we could sing. So we would sing songs. I remember we used to do that row, row, row your boat, and everybody had a little part to sing and harmonizing. And yes, we were in church. I could tell you. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday was choir rehearsal. If there was a youth meeting at a church once a month, then you have Saturday going on. Then it's Sunday was
all day.
Sunday school, regular church, YPWW, and then evening service. So we had 4 services. So I was raised in the church, and this is all we knew. Our family basically was church family or relatives. That's it. Church family or relatives. We knew people in school, and we could hang out with them in school, but that kind of was the extent of it. But I liked it. I was kind of an introvert, so that little nest, so to speak, I was good with that. But I did have to learn later on as I got older that, you got to branch out. You got to go do something different,
Definitely.
So even with my kids now, my grandkids, every 2 weeks, I look forward to them coming to my house so I can cook for them. And I try to coordinate it where everybody can come. But I do have a son in Kentucky. He can't come every 2 weeks. But I enjoy those Sunday dinners. I'm tired as all get out, but I get to look at my kids interact. I get to look at my grandkids interact. We get to have fun with them, and we get to teach lessons.
Okay.
And so I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'm retired now, so I'm sitting there waiting now. When it coming? Basically, either I go visit some of them, but family is extremely important. It is. It's important.
Absolutely.
It is, definitely. And so, Jazz, you have 2 sons.
I do.
So, talk a little bit about the foundation that you have been building for these years. You have a 17-year-old and a 8-year-old.
I do. I do.
So kind of talk about how you're raising them to teach them about the important things in life.
Okay. Oh, goodness. I think the core is a relationship with God and how that's the start of everything. As a single mother, it's not easy because these are young men and I'm trying to teach them how to be young men, and I can't necessarily do that as a woman.
Right.
So I'm grateful that I have godly men in my life. I have an older cousin who I call Papa, and he's always available to talk to them and help them and guide them as well. But I just want them to know that it's okay to make mistakes. Even though I might get upset, it's like, it's okay, but what can we learn from this? How can we move on from this? But it wasn't always that way. And like, they're 9 years apart, and I know that the way that I raised my oldest son is not necessarily how I'm raising my youngest son. And sometimes there's like a little bit of guilt in there because I don't feel that, I was 25, so I wasn't like young when I had Jeremiah, but it's like I didn't necessarily know what it was to be a mom. And me and my mom didn't always have the best relationship. We clash, and it's like, okay, I don't want that with my family. So how can we make sure we are able to communicate with each other in a way that he knows I love him, but sometimes it's a tough conversation that has to be had. And so I think that's it. Just one, getting rid of the guilt that I feel for just a bunch of different things. And then 2, knowing that I'm going to make mistakes. I don't know the answer, but leaning on God to help me have a relationship with them and helping them understand that having a relationship with God is important as well.
I have my second, I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
My second child is a female. She has 3 sons.
Okay.
So she definitely can relate. And I also relate to the part where you say you feel guilt. Because at the beginning, you're just learning. And even if you have child number 2, that's a different personality. Yeah. So really, you're learning all over again. And I think sometimes the way we're raised, and this is just my personal thing, we can be tough on our kids, and it's not because we dislike them. I think we were in survival mode and wanted to make sure nobody else hurt them. So we keep them in certain parameters. And I think that's how we were kind of raised. We didn't want nobody else. Yeah.
Right.
My mom and daddy didn't want nobody else to beat on us, hurt us, or nothing. Yeah. So they kept those parameters to protect us. So really, you're in survival mode. You're trying to make sure you do as much as you can, and sometimes it might be a little tough, but that's what we know. And then as life goes on, you might feel some guilt. Well, I wish I had done this when I was raising my kids. Doesn't mean that you don't love them, but you give from the well that you have. You pour from what you have. And as long as it's good intentions, that's a good thing. Because I could feel that too. I was like, I was a little too tough for my kids. But I went from what I knew, because I was the same way. I want to protect my kids. I don't want nobody else to hurt my children. Yeah. Right. And I used to tell my kids, because, I might have to go to jail if somebody, do something to y'all. But I didn't want that to happen. But I think that's why I was protective, and I disciplined. We disciplined the way we did, because we didn't want them to go out for somebody else to do something to them. Yeah. So that guilt part, I understand it fully. And I think a lot of parents go through it, especially when I see the younger generation sometimes and how they're raising their kids. And it's a much softer raising. Now, it don't work for some of them. Let's tell the truth. You want to spank some other people's children.
Yes.
But it's some things I see, yeah, they need to get a handle on it. But
Mhm.
if some things I see, I say, I wish I had done that.
Mhm.
Or I wish I had known about
Mhm.
that it could be done that way.
Yes.
So I still think when you learn from your mistakes,
Mhm.
and you might be, well, as kids get older, you get a little more gentler or find other ways to talk to them and, and whatever. But you can fuss, but you're just trying to save them from
Yes.
heartache, which,
Absolutely.
Right.
as the kids say, because this was never my terminology, because life be lifing.
Yeah.
I've learned that as a 66-year-old. Like,
Okay.
okay, I understand now.
Mhm.
Life be lifing.
Yeah.
I can't protect you from that. That's a decision you made.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be here with you. We're gonna toil along together.
Yeah.
But some lessons need to be learned, and we just have to pray for them.
Yeah.
And help God and let them learn that lesson and
Right.
still grant protection.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part, letting them make their own decisions. Like Jeremiah is 17, and it's hard to let go. It's like, well, I think you should do this, but he was like, but I want to be able to do this, and letting him, like you say, they have to be able to learn from it because they need to experience these things, and sometimes they may make a decision that leads to a consequence, but that'll help them
as long as they're
later
protected
on. Absolutely,
and they're safe.
yes,
and they can proceed
mm-hmm.
fully, wholly.
Yeah.
Then they have to. Life be life.
Life be life.
And that's the thing, because I made some mistakes in my life. Believe it or not, I actually made some mistakes.
I would have never thought
that. But I was just hard headed. I mean, I was taught the right ways, but I just wanted to test the waters.
Yeah.
And, testing the water sometimes, it can almost have you like you at that mode of you drowning.
Mm.
And then somebody all of a sudden just saves you. And that wasn't nobody but God's grace and mercy, right?
Yeah. The prayers of the righteous, the prayers of the saints.
Yeah.
Right.
Overlooking all of us, because
yeah,
everybody's done things outside of what they've been taught to do, because sometimes you do want to test the waters. And some people are more fearful than others.
Right.
Not saying they perfect.
Right.
But they crossed that line a little too much because they were scared of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And they knew the time they crossed it, Mama and Daddy was going to catch
It
them.
was going to catch
But so, yeah.
And that was, those are the things like, I remember my mama. So we would want to go play basketball, football, whatever. And mama say, boy, you don't need to go and play no ball. You're going to go down there and get hurt. And just to show one time I broke my ankle.
Oh, goodness.
And the next time somebody bit me in the top of the head playing basketball. And so the next time I said, Mom, just don't say nothing. Just don't tell me, because
it was her.
Like, oh, you putting something wrong with you.
Oh, goodness.
But
jinxed you.
But I appreciate that, because she was worried about our welfare as we left out of here from within the nest. Right. And because there were so many things out there that could have attacked us. Right. And those are the things we worry about today with our kids, grandkids, because there are so many vices available to them. And we don't want them to make the mistakes. They will make mistakes, but we have to know how to have a conversation with them, not beat them down, but encourage them to think about it and make better decisions.
Yeah.
So,
I think we all are still learning, because if you put it in reference of God, He's still doing that same thing. He is still teaching us, protecting us when we step outside from under the umbrella of safety, still protecting us, and we still learning lessons. Like, well, Lord, had I known that's all I needed to do, I could have just did that, and I'd have saved myself up.
Yeah.
But God is still looking out for us the same way, because we are not perfect.
No.
Right.
He is still looking out for us. So that God set up the family. So therefore, we are looking out for ours and trying to guide them in the right direction as much as we know how.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's our job. It's our job to cover our family. It's our job to pray for them, encourage them to do the things that God would have us to do.
I think it's tough. I'm not telling anybody it's easy to raise, especially these days, because I feel like there's more out there. Because if you could probably, I know this is strange, but if you could think about by Moses' time, it wasn't much he had to worry about his children.
Yeah,
y'all had a field and some animals. Take care of them. But there was stuff to, entice them. But nowadays, and the scary part too is other people are raising their children totally different. And you can pour 18 years into a child. It would take one influence.
That's right.
Just one. and then your child will be veering off away from what they were taught.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Bible says if you teach them when they're young,
mm-hmm.
they'll come back.
Yes.
They'll come back to what they're taught.
Mhm.
And you can hear a lot of people say that, I was raised in the church and I got away from the church and I was out there and I was doing my thing.
Mhm.
And eventually
They make it back.
They come back. They
Yeah.
come back in the church. Or they come back to Christ. Let's put it like that.
I'm a living witness of that. So people always saying how I used to be running and doing this and that. Now I'm acting like my daddy. My daddy used to be at church all the time doing something. He was always serving.
Yeah.
Not only at church, but he was serving people in the community. He was always talking about God. He carried around the little New Testament in his top pocket.
Okay.
And I don't care.
When I say a worn out testament,
It was worn out.
I have it.
She has
I have
it.
his
Okay.
testament when he first got saved, and he went to witness to everybody because that's what you were supposed to do when you came into the knowledge of Christ. You were supposed to witness to others. That is the raggediest little Bible. It was one of the red level letter Bibles, but it was red with the leather cover. All the little ends are frayed. I said, but this is a testimony right here.
Yeah.
That's right.
You wanted everybody else to have salvation just like you.
And
So it was worn out.
He did. I mean, everywhere we went.
Sometimes we would hide a little bit like, oh, Lord,
here you go.
Cousins and everybody used to come to the door. Come and sit down for a minute. Let me tell you about Jesus. And we'd be like, oh, daddy again.
That's right. That's right. He built it. He built it.
Yeah.
I tell you, everywhere we went, we supposed to be going somewhere for about 10 or 15 minutes, turned into 4-5 hours.
Oh,
yes.
My mom be here like, that Otis, he out there running his mouth, talking to somebody. And then we come home. And we was ready to come home, but daddy was out there preaching to people. But that's a great thing, right? We didn't, at that time, we didn't realize the impact.
Yeah.
Right?
Because relatives have come back and talked about him when he passed. And talked about, if it hadn't been for Uncle Otis, I would have never knew about Jesus or came to the Lord or whatever. When they got older, they remembered what he said. I said, that's a testament in itself.
Yeah,
that's right.
In itself.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. So,
and my mama, of course.
Yeah.
Praying woman.
Yeah.
Like my daughter said on the phone, we had Bible study last night with the young people. And we asked some of the kids what were some hard seasons in their life.
Okay.
And they mostly spoke about school.
Okay.
And it's hard to get through this subject, hard to get through that subject. So Ashley, she started talking about when she went to college. She said, I didn't like to ask for help from nobody. I didn't want nobody to help me. I wanted to do it on my own. She said, but God had to humble me. And she said, I left from my junior college and went to my high school and found my high school teachers and told them I don't understand. I need some help because I got to pass these college courses.
Wow.
And then Mama was visiting me up in the Panhandle, and Ashley said, I'll never forget it. She said, I was getting ready to leave, and Grandma grabbed my hand, and she started praying for me and asked God to help me pass these classes or whatever. And she said, I went there. She said, I was striving for an A, but I got a B. She said, but she remembers that Mama prayed for her.
Right.
And she said, and I know I have to pray for myself, and I just have to reach out and receive help when I need it.
Right.
And, depend on God to help me and other people that God has put in place.
Right.
So, yeah, we just had that dynamics. Mama prayed. Daddy prayed too. But it was all about Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was me and Agnes we were in the room a little while ago with my mom. And said, Mom, you should come on get on the podcast. Nope.
Oh, that would have been great.
Nope.
No.
She said no.
She said she has her way of
We already do.
of giving a message about things. And so I respect it. Even though I wanted to come on the podcast, I respect what she wants to do.
Nope.
Yeah, she said nope.
I'm on my way.
And I had already told her, I said, now when I asked Mom, she gonna say no. I said, hey, Mom, Agnes gonna be on the podcast. Won't you come be on the podcast? Nope. It just is quick. Like, she ain't sit and think about it. She said, nope.
But
and when look at me now, she doing whatever she doing. Nope.
She sure did. She did not look at you at all. She started reaching over there, doing everything else. But my kids will try to get me to do certain. When she did that and she kept saying it, I said, I could see myself. Because some of the things my kids asked me to do, and I'm looking at y'all, forgot how old I am, right? Come on now. And they'll say, well, Mama, you need to do so-and-so. Well, come on and do this. Well, let's do this. And sometimes we do. But a lot of times I'm saying, y'all go ahead. Y'all young. Y'all got it. But I need to start saying yes. there are limitations to that. Yes, now,
Yeah.
you know, I need to start, yes, because they want to spend time with me, not just us at the house.
Right.
So we're supposed to be planning a girls' day out or something where we got to dress up because they want to dress up. And they all know that's something I like to do. But anyway, we're going to dress up. We're going to go to a movie. We're going to go to dinner. And the men are going to keep all the other grandbabies. And we are going to plan this day because time is something you can't get back.
That's right. That's
and
right.
we've had, like you said, lost loved ones. And I can look at all the instances where we should have been together. We should have been together because we had time. And we need to take out time for each other. Because when Michael sent me my invitation for his birthday party, I was like, oh, I'm getting an invitation this time. I said, this must be my kind of people that he's going to invite me. Because I'm in the slow groove.
Hey,
So I said, oh, it's my kind of people. These must be elderly people. And they must be playing gospel music. Okay, I'm in. So I told myself, I had things planned. We had a baptism plan, a bunch of stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to miss this opportunity. I said, because if something happens, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I said, I'm tired of people passing and we don't get to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
So I moved all of the church functions to the next Sunday, told them why. And we came because tomorrow's not promised to you. And we came. I said, I'm coming to share my brother's birthday. And this is what I'm going to do. I said, Lord willing, help us to get there safely and everything to go well. But I think about stuff like that now with people, generations passing, so to speak, because my mom is the last of her immediate family.
Okay.
I remember when my uncle was alive, he was the last of his immediate family.
Okay.
Then I think about the recent death of Miss Welch. Well, Ricky that's left.
Right.
He was the last of that immediate family. And I thought about it and I said, Lord, no, I'm going. I'm going. I said, they can carry on without me.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's important to, and if you have issues with your family, it's important, even if you have to send an email first or write a letter first, send a text message first, and have to be the first one to say, hey, we are growing apart. I love you. Can we please get together? Make an effort because when the person leaves this earth, you'll think about what could have been.
Right.
And so it's the same way with accepting Christ. The opportunity is there. Now we could do all we can. If somebody just refuses, you still pray for them and you still can try to make that connection. But it's time to mend ways so that you can have those relationships. You never know who you could help. Or you don't know somebody who be able to help you. But it's about community.
That's right.
It's about community. We have people that come to our family reunion that were not blood relatives, but they were taken in by some of our relatives, and they still consider us family, which is all good. Which is all good. And that's the community part of it.
Right.
So.
Definitely. And I was going to say with family, it may not be your blood, but, surround yourself with those folk who have like interests. And that will be there to support you when you're going through different things, so you don't have to be blood, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, if you have an issue with someone, go to them however you need to. Apologize if it was your fault and just say apologize anyway, because you may not know, because sometimes we do things unconsciously and we don't realize the damage we may have caused. And that might be why that person don't speak to you, don't want to see you, whatever it is. So you go to them and say, hey, if I've done anything to you, apologize.
And the main thing, like you said, you got to present it or go to them in the right way.
The right way.
Because
that's right.
You need to do it the right way, because some of these issues that families have are extremely tender. It's amazing what you can remember. You was 5 years old and now you're 55. That person might have had such a negative or positive impact on you. Time somebody else up here makes a negative statement, you go back to when you were 5 years old, when you heard somebody else make that statement. So you have to approach it, in the right way, to let them know you're genuine about wanting to mend this situation. And if somebody, you apologize for not doing what you thought I should be doing, because maybe I didn't understand it. I didn't
Right.
know that. I gave you what I had.
Mm-hmm.
But if you still holding it against that parent or against that brother or sister, you're the one holding it.
Mm-hmm.
So go tell them how you made them feel or they made you feel, and throw that stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that's something Satan want to use to keep you where you are,
That's right.
you know, and keep you bound. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to tell people this: if it don't bother you, you good, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But if it vex your spirit enough that it keeps coming up in your emotions and keeps coming up, got to go mend that. You got to go fix that.
That's
You can't
right.
just let it continue.
Definitely. Definitely. I just want to give a shout out to Jazz. Jazz part of the family now, because, you know, she put in some work helping out. Whatever when I come up with some of these crazy ideas, whatever, she's constantly writing it down and gonna make it happen. She's gonna remind me of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about family, she's not blood, but she family.
Yeah.
She gonna step in and she
I
gonna
could tell
support.
that at the birthday party. I was like, girl, he got you running around.
And so,
But she didn't tell me. She said, but I said, did he tell you to do all this? And she told me, no, I volunteered. I was like, okay.
I did.
And you don't find many people like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you find a genuine person, you make sure you treat that person with the utmost respect.
Yeah.
Right.
And you always have to say you're grateful for them and acknowledge them.
Right.
And I acknowledge you as well, because I know you retired and you wanted to come, and I appreciate you coming.
Well, if I wasn't retired, I was.
You was gonna still come?
I was still.
You was just
if I had to take off from work,
I was just getting ready to say you're gonna take off from work.
I was gonna come.
But I appreciate that, and you were a great help in putting things together and
That's
being
a
there
part
the
of our
day of.
personality
That
to
is,
help people.
we're gonna step in and we're gonna help to make sure it happens. So, I appreciate that. And
part of our raising.
It was definitely
Part of our raising.
That's right.
To help people.
To this
I used
day.
to tell my own kids for their grandparents and their people. They would say, "I need you to come up here and share me some pecans." So Mr. Harmon, my husband's dad, would want them to share the pecans. He wanted to pay them, and I used to tell my kids, "Don't you ever take
That's
any
right.
money.
Nope.
You learn to help people without being paid.
There you go.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Don't take no money from them. I know they just want to give y'all 50 cents or whatever. I said, but don't take it from them. Just say, that's okay. I did this because I love you or whatever. Don't take any money, because I don't want you to ever think that every time you do something good, somebody got to pay you for it.
Right.
I didn't want them to grow up with that thought.
Yeah.
Right.
And
exactly.
right now, I could be honest. My kids don't take money from people when they can give them help.
Right.
And it seems to me they're always drawn to an elderly person that they're helping.
Okay.
Right.
You know, which I love that part about my children.
Definitely.
I really do.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jazz, like with Jeremiah, I noticed his mannerisms, right? Like the other day, I drove up and Mom was in the car with me. He was in the middle of doing something, getting something out of your car or whatever. And he immediately came over to the car to open the door to help Mom out of the car.
Oh.
So where did he pick up these mannerisms? I know you teach him, right? But is that something like, did he just grow? Look, I thought Jeremiah was going to be a little preacher. Well, he was a little boy, and he'd get up and do the prayer and the scriptures, and then he would even do the message. And I was like,
well, he's only 17. So.
Yeah.
And so I know God gave him a gift, and he may not have realized the magnitude of the gift that he possesses. How do you feel about that as a parent?
Okay, you was asking me a couple questions there. So as far as like the stopping to help and opening the door, some of that is just in him. I don't know if he's observed other men that he respects doing it, so he does that as well. And then that's something that I also like. I'll stop and just stand and look at the door. And he'll be standing up like, you need to open the door, right? So teaching him that as well, and I'm trying to do the same things with James, but some of that just comes from observing. Like I said, we have my older cousin who he was around a lot when he was younger, and just watching and doing, like knowing what he should be doing and what to leave. Maybe he sees somebody else doing that's not right. Like, so I think God allowed him to have that type of discernment to know, okay, this is how I need to act. This is what I need to follow and let those things go. But the first time he gave a message at church, I was blown away because I was like, he didn't get that from me. He didn't get that from me because I wasn't going to church as much. He spent a lot of time with my grandmother, his great grandmother.
Shout out to Silver Fox.
Yes, my grandmother,
Mother McKinney.
So he spent a lot of time with her, and like when he gave the message, it's like, I have a relationship with God. I know all the, I have read my Bible, all that, and it's like, wow. And I didn't really help him. Like he knew what the topic was, and he was just on it that day, and I was surprised because he and I hadn't really had conversations like that. Like we'd talk about the Bible a little bit, but nothing in depth enough for me to think that he'd be able to do that. Like his first time, I think he was 13 when he gave his first message, and he taught me that, okay, you need to be doing something a little bit different, because my relationship with God at that time wasn't the best because there was a lot of things going on, but he kind of reinvigorated me. It's like, okay, I must be doing something okay for my son to be able to have this type of relationship with God, to be able to deliver this kind of message that not only is helping young people, but it's helping and affecting older people as well. And then it was like, oh, they need you to do this. They need you to do that. They need you to do this. And not realizing that he was okay with helping and doing it sometimes, but he felt that he couldn't say no. And that was something that when I realized that, I was like, okay, I need to take a step back because I can't force him to do what he doesn't want to do, even though he's great at it, right? He's been able to do a good job. He doesn't want to feel forced to do that. That might not be what he wants to do right now. And then that's kind of how that giving him the opportunity to make his own decisions. And he would be able to say no. But it's kind of like me. Like I want to be able to help everybody and I don't want to say no, but giving him, he'll be like, do I have to? And it's like, no, if you don't feel it's something that you want to do right now, that's fine. But what are you willing to do? And he might not be willing to give the message. He'll do a prayer or he'll do a scripture. But not, and I think that's kind of like we might want our kids to do what we want them to do because we think we know what's best.
Right.
And that's not always the case. Like if that's something that he wants to do in the future, then the Lord will lead him that way. But I can't force him into, because that could have him wanting to move away. Right. Like I had to do all, like you said, you was in church, 22-6?
Yeah.
And like we don't go to church like that now, but I don't want him to associate church with feelings of like I didn't have a choice or, something like that. I want him to be able to choose how he interacts. Like I know he has a good relationship with God, but how he interacts otherwise with all the things that go in the church.
Sometimes people can find that you know how to do something and they'll wear it out.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So, you can't wear it out. Yeah. You want people to be willing workers.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you can lay things out and say, well, I would like to have some volunteers for these particular things that are going on. And if they don't volunteer, then, and that if they wanted to, they would.
Yes.
Then you just leave them alone if they don't volunteer, because you don't want to wear it out.
Yeah.
No, definitely. You want them to love what they're doing and make choices to do it.
Absolutely. So now he just helps in a different way. He assists Mike up in the, what you call your area? The nest?
The nest.
The nest.
Audio visual.
With the audio visual things. So he's helping in another way, not just in the front of the church, which he's not comfortable with doing all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He's a willing worker.
He is.
Good.
He'll step in and help wherever he's needed. So
I noticed that at the birthday party.
Right.
He was a willing worker.
I admire young men like that. I admire my nephew, Aiden.
Yes.
Aiden will step in and do whatever, all the way from the beginning
Can I help?
to the end.
Yeah. Can I help?
And we need more people to be those type of people. But they have to come into themselves. Maybe that's not for them right now. But as they watch others, maybe they'll stop and think,
Dave's
hey, you know what?
Going back with me to Chipley.
He's going back to Chipley?
He's going back with me tomorrow to Chipley. He can stay until Adrian comes and gets him.
Okay.
He wants to cook, so I'm going to
let
him get
he is going to have a ball. He going to want to go out there and probably go out there and shoot some deer or something, and come in and clean it up and cook it.
No deal. But I'm going to make sure that whatever James them doing something,
he's
include
a part of it. Yeah.
we're not doing hog killing and stuff like that, and all the stuff in the field is practically gone. But he just is so anxious to come. So
that's awesome.
He's coming.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But I know
that's
he'll
cool.
be a big help, and prayerfully he'll learn some things. He won't be bored with these 2 old footy days.
No, he gonna find something to do. He gonna call Auntie Agnes. You got some what you call it in the freezer, whatever it might be.
I'm gonna take him to the store
because if you got
prepare
that,
my meals, because he likes to cook.
if you got this seasoning right here, I'm gonna show you, and he just gonna go through his whole thing.
I'm gonna stay right there.
That's cool. That's cool. But this is a great conversation, and the conversation is to hopefully encourage others who may be going through some difficult times, just because we're talking about a lot of the good side of it. There's also those downsides of different things that, we go through in life, but we just have to trust God.
Right.
Absolutely.
And ask him for what we want and believe and have faith. And
I've had some ups and downs with my children.
Yeah.
And things that I didn't sanction, but all I could do is pray.
Yeah.
And try to have conversations, but they follow their own path.
Right.
And their path eventually led right back to God.
Yeah.
That's right.
They come to the realization that Mama wasn't lying.
That's right.
She said this, and there it is. And why did I do all of this? And da-da-da. I was like, that was your path.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like it. No, we butted heads about it. But the point is, your final destination is what's important.
That's right.
Your final destination is what's important. And of course, that's to please God.
Yes.
Right.
And, he'll do the rest.
Absolutely.
One thing my dad said, and I was telling Jazz about it, people be laughing at me, right? Because I'll be just anywhere. Stuff come to me, and I'll put it in my notes on my phone. I said, I'm going to do a message on this one day. I got a whole lot in here. But it's one particular one that came to me that Daddy used to always ask me when I was a teenager. Because, I thought I was all of that. I thought I'm all this. I'm a this and that. And he said, son, all that's fine. He said, but what about your soul? So my message is, what about your soul?
What about your
One day it's coming out. Now, I know y'all watching this. Don't come bother me by doing no message.
When you going to give that?
When you going to do the message? Because the message may not be for the masses. It could be for a single individual. So let it marinate and let God do what he do.
When he want to do
when
it.
he want to do it. And don't be trying to call no shots with it.
And
Thank you so much.
Your mind is, what must I do to be saved? So that go along with yours.
Right.
So we'll do a do.
We'll do
You heard it here first.
That might be a podcast segment, and you may not be here.
I do.
We'll do it virtually and put it out there. Right. Well, we appreciate you being on.
Yes,
You're gonna travel all the way back to Chipley, Florida. The closest thing is Panama City, I believe, the biggest landmark that people wouldn't know of. Panama City. So, but yeah, we do. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much.
And we're hoping that
I enjoyed it.
others who listen to this podcast will get quite a bit out of it.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
That was cool.